Hey guys, welcome back to Tip Tuesday. My name is Carmen Johnson with Team Evo AZ with eXp Realty, and I have Ryan Gilliam here with Your Best Mortgage. And today's topic is, what are seller concessions and how can they save you money? When you're going to go and buy a home, the seller might be able to cover and help with some of the costs that are involved, and this is called seller concessions. And it's a super big game changer for buyers out there who are, needing help with some of the cash when, coming to the closing table. And so, Ryan, can you maybe help explain a little bit more about what seller concessions are and how they work?
Yeah, I'm so glad we're covering this. And when you're purchasing a home, really the amount you need to bring in for closing actually comes from two numbers being really added together. And one is your down payment. Mm-hmm. And the second really is those closing costs. So the down payment is a percentage of the purchase price of the home. For example, on conventional loans, you could put as little as 3% down. On FHA loans, you could put as little as 3.5% down. And VA and USDA, which is a rural housing loan, there's no down payment requirements. But outside of this down payment, there are closing costs. And these are the fees that are really charged to complete a purchase transaction. They're costs like appraisal, title fees, lender fees, collection of taxes.
I think some of these fees really add up for buyers out there.
They do, yeah. And there's even, for instance, HOA fees, like transfer fees, if you're in a HOA community. Now, these fees could total anywhere from like $5,000 for lower priced homes to $15,000 for high-end jumbo homes. So it really depends on the price of the home. But when you're putting in an offer on a home, you could request that the seller cover these fees. As you mentioned, Carmen, these are called seller concessions. Mm-hmm. So FHA and USDA loans, they allow up to 6% of the purchase price to be paid for by the seller in closing costs. VA up to 4%. Conventional could be anywhere between 3 and 9, depending on your down payment. Larger down payments, you could really go to 9%. So the seller could easily cover all of the closing costs. And there's obviously, depending on how much you could get, they could pitch in some extra to use to even buy down your interest rate. So it's really something to keep in mind when you're offering on a home.
Yeah, no, I think seller concessions, they're being asked for all the time. We're working with a lot of buyers right now and negotiating those into their purchase contracts. And, sellers are really willing to work with the buyers, I think, to make a deal happen. So, this is definitely something to the buyer's benefit and worth asking about. And it can just make, home ownership possible and more affordable. And so, if you have questions when it comes to buying and you're thinking about, putting cash together and what that looks like, and if that would be a fit for you when we're going to negotiate, feel free, ask us some questions, write some comments down below, or feel free to reach out to me and Ryan if you need anything else. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.